Hey, let's bring in Lomas Brown. Always great to have you here. You know how to get to the postseason. 6 times you did it. Let's start with this Cowboys team. You just heard Ed say every time Dez touches the ball, he's going to be in pain.
Right.
So how does this Cowboys offense adjust?
Well, what I look for them to do is use tight end Jason Witten a whole lot more than they've used him in certain games. And we all go back to a few weeks ago where he had 18 catches against the Giants. I expect them to use him a lot more, and also DeMarco Murray and those running backs. I expect them to use them more in the passing game. I look at Dez Bryant as being more of a decoy this week. You want that guy out there because you need that threat out there, but I think he'll be more of a guy that's running guys off. He's going to receive the ball some, just like Tony Romo said, but I look for Jason Witten to have the bulk of the catches.
After a sloppy return against the Chargers, as we flip to the Steelers, what do you expect from Ben Roethlisberger this week? I think it's fair to say this team is going to go as far as he carries them.
Absolutely. Now, the biggest thing with Ben last week, Ben rusty, he has one more week to prepare. But I think the biggest area you'll see the adjustments with him is in third down. They were bad against San Diego in third down conversions last week. I think the first 4, they were off the field. Their first 3 possessions, it was 3 and out. So they must improve on the offensive side of the ball, keeping them going. And conversely, on the defensive side of the ball, they couldn't get off the field. They could continue to let San Diego convert third down. So I think that area with Ben, I think you'll see him a lot more proficient on third downs.
All right, here's the great thing about Sunday. There are so many key games for us to keep our eye on. And how about this one? You want rivalry? Well, Sunday also pits the Bears and the Packers against each other. And now comes word that Bears fans never want to hear. The Chicago Tribune reporting that Jay Cutler is dealing with a sprained MCL. This helps alleviate it a little bit. He is expected to play on Sunday. Hall of Famer Steve Young on what he's watching.
Well, great matchup between Aaron Rodgers and the Chicago Bear defense. Always has been, but this one's going to be tough because of the Bears struggling with injuries and I don't think playing really good football. In the past, the Bear defense allows very small windows for success. Average or below average quarterbacks are not able to hit those small windows, and that's why they tend to be abused. Aaron Rodgers, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, he does a great job of pump fakes, shoulder moves, eye movement to open those windows up, and especially with the injured Chicago Bear defense, I think those windows will even grow bigger. Advantage Aaron Rodgers this weekend.
All right, Lomas, you heard him. Advantage Aaron Rodgers this weekend. So I'm going to put it to you this way. The Bears can turn the skid around if what?
They need help from not only the guys on the field, but their offensive coordinator. I think they could turn it around if Mike Tice creates a game plan that allows Jay Cutler to get that ball out of his hand. He doesn't have the greatest offensive line in front of him.
No, he doesn't.
And they're basically a simple offense. They try to get the ball to Brandon Marshall. That's it. So he must devise ways for Jay to get back, maybe 3 steps, get that ball out of his hand, maybe slants, maybe out routes. But he must get back 3 steps and get that ball out of his hand. That'll help that Chicago Bears offense.
All right, well, Brandon Marshall, he could help too. He's turned out 2 straight big games, and he is ready for this one.
This is the biggest game of my career, so I'm excited about it. I had this game marked since we played them last. They do a lot of talking, so this is personal for me, and of course we all know about the rivalry. We all know about what's at stake, and I'm going to play it like it's my last game.
All right, so he's going to play it like it's his last game. We always hear these bold statements in these big rivalry games. Take me inside the locker room. I want to know what the sentiment is actually like when you're getting ready for this kind of game.
You know why you hear those bold statements? It's because you're familiar with these guys. You face these guys 2 times a year. You know all their little ins and outs. You know what they like to do and what they don't like to do. So you feel like you have an advantage, and that's why when you have these rivalry games, that's why you guys talking trash and going back and forth between each other, because they know the guy that takes advantage of that matchup, who's able to impose his will, especially in the rivalry game, is pretty much going to come out on top. And I think Brandon Marshall knows that he's a very, very good wide receiver, and he has a great chance of having a great game against the Packers secondary.
So were you legitimately more fired up for games like this?
You were. You really were, because not only losing that game would be bad. It's a divisional game, but guess what? They got bragging rights on you, and you never want your rivals to have bragging rights.
All right, and the Packers, they can clinch the division with a win on Sunday. Lomas, don't go too far.
Okay, I'll stay right.
All right, thank you very much.
All right.